All right, here we go again with another episode of Table Talk with Roland. Again, those of you that don't know, Table Talk with Roland is all about everything that deals with health and fitness, from competing to just dieting, getting in the best shape that you possibly can. So our goal is to inform you of everything you have available to help you along the way, whether it's a nutritionist, whether it's a food prep, whether it's massage therapies, whatever you need to get you where to go, where you're trying to go. That's what we're trying to do. When you're a competitor, a lot of information for competitors. And just matter of fact, today we got the posing guru of the NPC, IFBB. If you stepping on stage, you need to come through Atlanta to the House of Payne and get some instructions. And again, we're going to let them introduce themselves. And they'll tell you all about them. But we're here in the House of Payne with Steve and Rachel. I just told you their name, but they'll take it from there. Guys, we're so happy to have you.
Thanks, Roland. Happy to be here. My name is Rachel Payne, and I'm the CEO and co-owner of House of Payne Personal Training, and I'm the publisher of Southern Muscle Guide. And been in the business for 30 plus years.
Wow.
She's also the tabulator for the state of Georgia for the NPC shows. My name's Steve Payne. I'm the owner of House of Payne Personal Training, CFO. Also, I'm the head expert for the state of Georgia and numerous Alabama shows, Tennessee shows, national level shows, pro level shows. I'm a little bit everywhere, but that's what I do.
All right, and again, they're just being modest. If there's a show that's going on, everybody wants this couple to be at their show, where Steve controls the stage. What Steve does, and I'm gonna just put it out there, he makes people, all competitors, male or female, he relaxes them by the time they get to stage to come out on stage to present themselves the best that they can present. Because those of us that's been on stage, it's nerve-wracking. People that say that they're not nervous, we know they're lying, okay? And you need that someone to soften the blow before you get on stage so you can present yourself the best that you can be. And that's what you guys bring to the table. So we're gonna talk about that for a little bit here. You guys we're actually sitting on their stage right now. And this stage is phenomenal. It is marked up just like it would be on any stage that you compete on. There's a complete replica of that. And was that your objective from the beginning?
Absolutely. When we first set it up, we just wanted a platform to be on top of, but I was lucky enough to start working some of the national level shows. And that's where I learned how to mark out a stage, have the right distancing, and I want to make sure that our competitors, no matter if they were doing the very first show or if it's IFBB Pro competitor doing the Olympia, they know exactly how the stage is going to be laid out and what they should be doing on their stage. So that's what we kind of emulate here at the House of Payne, where that we actually almost do mock competitions to an extent, not legitimately, but they go through the same thing, and the stage is really set up so that every competitor knows exactly what's going to happen the day they compete, so that they're not caught off guard. It's like, oh, I did not know I was going to stand on a diagonal line. I did not know there was going to be a box in the middle. I lay it out exactly the way they've done nationals for at least the last 10 or 15 years. And so every show that I've worked for, I lay it out the same way so that it looks the most professional, whether it's a super tiny show or a humongous show. Either way, we're going to treat them all the same because they want to have the same almost respect and experience that even the Olympia competitors get. You know, it's marked the exact same way.
Well, and I can speak from a judge's point of view, is that I feel very comfortable when you guys show up, which means that I know things are going to be ran properly. And even as a promoter, I bring you guys in all the time because, again, is when they show up, I'm telling you folks, if you can get them to come. When they show up, you don't have to worry about anything. The stage is going to be marked correctly. People are going to present themselves correct. They're going to control it so that everything flows smoothly. There's,
Yeah.
you know, as a judge, we see a lot of people being nervous, okay?
Mm-hmm.
And if someone hadn't calmed them down, they almost shake themselves off the stage.
Yes.
And that's something that you guys bring to the table, is that experience of keeping them under control, giving them that warm and fuzzy feeling that everything's going to be all right when I get to this square. You know, tell us about some of that.
Well, as I always tell, especially first-time competitors, because everyone's freaking out, and I say, I've got a secret for you. The worst thing that will happen at your show, you will look really good, and they're going to take pictures. That's all that really happens. And then they kind of stop and think about it. They go, well, I guess that is all that happens. It's like, yeah, you're not going to have to give a speech. Nothing actually happens. Nothing bad actually happens. Even for people who've competed before, it's like, did anything bad happen that day? Well, no. It's like, well, then you have nothing to worry about. If you relax and it's like, hey, I look really good when I do this, then that's what the judge is going to see. And if you tell the judges you look good, they're going to think you look good. If you don't, you might not look that good. That's all there is to it.
Yes, and that's the good thing about them having a stage here. So if you're near here, we're in Lawrence, Lilburn, Georgia. If you're near here, you if you're a competitor, it behooves you to stop in here and get those practices in. And even if you're not near here, you need to fly yourself in and do that. I'm sure you've had some people come from all over to do that.
Yeah, we have had people fly in before, and I always tell people, it's like, look, I'm not going to be worth this drive. I'm not. But you've put all this time, effort, and money into this sport. The posing's where the rubber meets the road.
Mm-hmm.
You are worth having to drive an hour and 15 minutes or 2 hours, because you don't want that last little bit, because the judges don't ever get to watch you work out. They never watch you eat. They don't want to watch you do cardio.
Right.
They're going to watch you stand up there and present yourself, and if you can't show it to them, they can't judge it. That's all there is to it.
That's it. And I tell people all the time, with me being retired military, you gotta use reverse planning when you're getting ready for a show.
Oh yeah.
That Saturday morning, that's your bread and butter. You gotta present yourself to the best of your ability. And again, you brought up a point. You could be in the best shape that you've ever been in your life, but if you can't present it on stage, you don't come out so good.
That's right.
Because as a judge, we're sitting there and we're gonna judge what you show us. We're not gonna sit there and say, well, if they move their arm this way or this way, they'll look better, so that's how I'm gonna score. No, it's not. If you don't show us, we can't count it. Those are the rules.
I think that's an important point to bring out. Every person that poses, it's got to be what makes them look the best.
Exactly.
They can't just be copying what they think somebody else is doing or what that other pro is doing or whatever. It's got to be what looks right and natural for them and showing their muscle at the best, for the judges to be able to score them the highest. And a lot of times people don't understand that. They just try to emulate somebody else. It's really important for them to be themselves, but to be their best.
Exactly.
You know, and that's, I think, where Steve excels the best. And what I've seen over the years is that he's able to help each person find that within them.
That's true, because you have a lot of people that get on the internet and that's what they're looking at. Well, if this pro is doing it, then I needs to be doing it. But like you just said, well, that's all well and good, but if it doesn't look good on you,
yeah,
then
it's got to
why
be the
do
best
it?
for you.
Exactly.
You know? So
Exactly.
they need
Exactly.
to, you know, it takes a minute, especially as a first timer. A lot of people don't understand. You know, a lot of times you go to these shows, 50% of the people are first timers.
Yes.
So they're not alone, but they need to develop that confidence over time in order to be able to own the body that they've created, and being able to pull that out so that they feel comfortable in a situation that's not normal for most people, you know, wearing a tiny suit and being in heels or posing in front of people and being judged. You know, it takes a minute to bring out that confidence, and that's where your practice comes in, and that's where having somebody who can bring the best out in you is so important.
Exactly. And what I love about you guys is that it's not you got all different types of bodies. You got different divisions and categories and all of that. But you guys can do it all. Can, you know, whether it's a bodybuilder, whether it's a bikini, whether it's a women's physique, whatever, they come here and they can get service. And I've seen you guys work. Matter of fact, when I first came in here today, you had people up on stage doing what you do best. But Rachel, you're the state tabulator. Tell us a little bit about that.
You know, this is my first year being, 2020 has been my first year being a tabulator. It's a process that I learned by following some of the best in Tennessee and Alabama, and you know, I volunteered to be the tabulator because it's a thankless job. Not a lot of people want to be it because it takes a lot of time. It's not that it's so hard, but it takes a lot of time to put everything together, and you want to make it right because it's the most important part of the show, so that the expediter and the judges and everybody else can do their part. So, you know, I'm very grateful that I had some very good teachers again from the other states, and they took time and allowed me to learn from them. And so, you know, it's just one of those things. You just have to be able to step up and do what needs to be done. And Georgia needed a new tabulator, so I did it.
Well, Rachel's being modest, I'll tell you guys, because the tabulator is, if the tabulator doesn't get the numbers right, then people could be placed, the final outcome could be different than what the judges had or whatever. So you got that long to get these numbers, get the scores from the judges, put it in the system, and get it up to the announcer to announce who's blase, 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 blase. So again, you got to be really on top of your game in order to make that happen. So I appreciate you being modest, but me being a promoter and being a judge, I know that the tabulator has a very, very, very important role from Friday night sign-in all the way to Saturday night finals. I mean, you control it.
I will tell you, one of the biggest things that I've learned is that it's not just that one person. It's the team of people that are part of registration, the registration process. If you have a good team of people there, by the time the information gets to me, it makes it easy because you have that good team and support. And you know, I see that everywhere I've been. I've seen that, and I go to a lot of shows along with Steve every year, and you know, I know when it's runs smooth, and you know, I hope that I can do that the same for Georgia.
Well, I'm sure you will. Speaking of so many shows, do you have any clue as to how many shows y'all actually end up doing from
on an average year? Besides this year, on an average year, we usually average about 25 shows a year.
That's a lot of traveling.
It is a bit of traveling, and of course we love it. This year, you know, the first half of the year was kind of cut off because of the virus and everything. But for me personally, Rachel's going to work at least, I think, 6 or 7 shows. I've got 8 shows back to back starting in 2 weeks. Where I will be gone every weekend for 8 weeks straight, where I won't get to spend the night at home. And you know, but because everything's just been crammed into a very short period of time, where we'll be working Tennessee shows, Georgia shows, Alabama shows, and national level shows, and Florida shows. So I am going to be back and forth quite a bit. But again, I'm lucky enough to have this job. I just really enjoy working with great people. I mean, Roland is also very modest. You know, he's part of the crew that's checking in people. He's one of the great promoters. He's one of the great judges in Alabama. And I love coming to the state of Alabama to work your shows, because I'm going home, because y'all are family, honestly, to us. And so it's always an awesome time.
And that's the thing about the NPC. NPC is designed to be one big family.
But we actually like y'all.
Yeah. Well, we thank you. Thank you,
Thank
Mr.
you.
Pruitt.
Yes.
Well, let's talk about next year. We got some good stuff going on next year. We actually have something in common
We
for
actually do.
next year. I'll be coming back to the state of Georgia to put on a show, and it's called the Tri-City Classic down in Columbus, Georgia. I'm excited about that.
We're
But
very excited to have you in Georgia.
I'm excited for you guys to have you guys' show. Tell us about that.
We are going to be putting on a show September 25th, 2021 in Dalton, Georgia at the
Wow.
Dalton Convention Center. It's going to be, we're hoping to put on a really top-notch show. We want to kind of emulate what Alabama's been able to do to really take care of all the competitors, take care of the judges, take care of the expediters and everything. But we want to put together a very well planned out show that is very fan friendly, very competitor friendly, kind of friendly for everyone. And you know, we're going to hope for the best. We're going to bring in the best that we can. Talking to a lot of different people so that we can put on a great show.
What's the date?
Again, September 25th, 2021 in Dalton, Georgia. It's actually exit 333.
It's called the Southern Muscle Showdown.
Thank you.
The NPC Southern Muscle Showdown.
Wow.
And we really are looking forward to having a lot of Georgia athletes be able to come and compete in it, as well as, you know, everybody from the surrounding areas. It's open to everybody.
Good, good. And you know, you guys already been established here. How's the support? Now that people know that you guys are having a show.
We've gotten a very good response. I mean, I've had numerous people saying, you know, that's going to be the show I'm going to do next year,
Good,
which is great.
good.
You know, gotten judges contacting me, gotten music people contacting me, photographers contact us and everything, tanning people.
Wow.
So,
Really excited to have our presenting sponsor, MartiniLawyer.com. Looking forward to having our tanning sponsor, Spray Tans by Maggie,
which is a Liquid Sunrays tanning.
company. And then also we have a print sponsor and a trophy
Wow.
sponsor, which is RB Image and Marketing, and Bodies by Amy is our award sponsor.
Wow.
So that's what we have so far, and Envision
Wow.
Photography being our photographer. So
Wow.
I'm really excited. Things are rolling along, and looking forward to continuing to put together a good show.
Wow. And just I'm getting jealous myself sitting here hearing you guys talk about everything that you guys have gotten already in place.
Yeah.
And this is a year out. You know, this is a year out, and you've
Literally a year
gotten
out.
more things accomplished than promoters that's been doing shows for a while. You got sponsors for about every single thing. And it's the day after my birthday, so I'm gonna put my throw my hat in there. I want to be somewhere in the mix too.
Absolutely.
But I am so proud of you guys. It's well deserved. But again, just hearing you, Rachel, talk about the sponsors that you already have, which means, you know, sometimes you got to plant that seed and never knowing when that seed will grow. Well, now you guys that seed is growing with
Yes.
you guys that you planted and other folks, and they just want to be part of this great thing. So I'm just happy to be part of the team of Georgia for next
Absolutely.
year. And we're going to put on some great things. The Tri-City Classic, 3 April, down in Columbus, Georgia.
Yeah.
And then you got the Southern Muscle
Showdown.
Showdown.
In North
which is
Georgia.
North Georgia, which is going to be on the 25th of September.
Yeah.
So again, we're just looking to bring some things to Georgia and shed some light on what Georgia has to offer. And again, we appreciate you guys taking the time out. I know you guys are busy, but just taking a few minutes to come, sit, talk at the table, it's pretty awesome. And I know we're going to do this again
Absolutely.
here in the near future. So everybody just, you know, if you want us to come to you, this table is portable. We can bring it to you and just sit down and have a table talk with Roland. If you have anything to do with fitness, those are the people that I want to talk to. If you're first-time competitors, that's who I want to talk to. You're a pro competitor, that's who I want to talk to. Everybody that has to do something with health and fitness. If you're a promoter, let me talk to you. If you're a trainer, let me talk to you. If you're a gym owner, let's get you at the table. So again, stay tuned for the next episode of Table Talk with Roland. Steve, been a pleasure. Rachel, always a pleasure. We'll see y'all in the near future.